Welcome to the Cincy Postcast. I'm Kevin Willis, and before we get started with today's episode, I get to tell you about our good friends, Streetside Brewery. Man, the best daggone brewery in the city, sponsoring your favorite soccer podcast, your second favorite soccer podcast, your third favorite, wherever you rank us, that's fine, because Streetside is first. That's right. They are over on the east side of Cincinnati, the Columbia Tusculum neighborhood. They are brewing up some amazing beers. Oh, Premier League season just kicked off. They are the spot for Queen City Fulham. They are the spot for FC Cincinnati away games, which admittedly, there's not a ton of coming up. But the ones that are there, they are a pub partner. They are good folks to go check out. Also, just an awesome space, okay? Summer's winding down, school season starting up, and, it's a good place to just get a break, okay? Just go chill, relax. It's a good time. It's a nice time. Very friendly staff. Absolutely love it at Streetside. And like I said, amazing beers, award-winning beers. The art on the can alone is probably worth the price of admission, which is free, to be clear. But man, it is just good stuff there. Cannot speak more highly of Streetside. So go check them out because they are keeping us afloat as a podcast. So if they are supporting us, you should support them. So a huge thank you to Streetside for sponsoring this episode. And on this episode, oh man, This is a funny episode. So on one hand, this is more soccer than we have talked on a single episode of the postcast in so long, maybe ever. Okay, just throw it out there. But at the same time, this Portland game was so chock full of plot, so chock full of storylines, of intrigue, of drama, of personal grudges and vendettas. So much to talk about. This game had everything. This game had all the evidence you needed that FC Cincinnati was the best team in the league and would absolutely destroy anybody else. And also had plenty of evidence to show you that FC Cincinnati has enough cracks in the armor that it is vulnerable to anybody in the league. There is so much to take from this game. Steven Jimenez got a start. What the heck? We talk about all of it. We put it all together, and then stick around for part 2, where we are changing up the Patreon question situation in August. I think you're really going to enjoy it. If not, it's going to annoy Grayson, so that's probably worth checking out. Put it all together, you got a lovely little episode of the postcast. Joining me to talk about all of that and more, I am joined by the Chief. This is 2 episodes in a row now where one of the 3 is not with us.
It's the rare instance in life where I've been one of the more reliable parts of anything that I'm doing. I don't know how to feel about that.
I feel really bad about missing our Wednesday recordings because it is missing out on 2 episodes thanks to the introduction of the World's Game.
Yeah, it's also, I know that you can feel the cringe in your heart where it's like he has no idea how to make sure that the episode is properly volumed.
I saw the comment.
No matter how hard I try, it sounds fine to me when I'm. It's just like, I don't know, man.
Multiple music producers will have said this at some point where they have to listen to the album not just in the studio but like in headphones, but then the clincher is in the car. Does it sound good in the average car system?
So what you're telling me I got to do is I got to take the MacBook out to the car and connect it via Bluetooth and just see what it sounds like before I hit the render.
That's what all the big podcasts are doing. Let me tell you.
I thought that I was being better by okay, what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to listen to it, but I'm going to listen to it on a volume setting that is lower than what I usually keep my computer on. I'm not
This
at
is
full
what I do.
volume. I'm
Yeah.
at like 1/2 volume. Apparently that wasn't even enough. So, and I'm deaf. Like I have the TV turned way up all the time because I've spent my entire life with headphones on, just ruining my hearing. So like, if I think it sounds good, I assume the average person will think this is way too loud.
There is something to be said for, you'd rather it be too quiet than too loud because you can always turn it up. If it's too loud, it's hard to go back the other way. One thing I have noticed, and this is like very inside baseball now, is a lot of the software will measure the levels for you, but two identical sounds at the same level will still like have the appearance of different loudness. And so I like for Grayson, for example, I have to boost his quite a bit. So just using the software, he should be way louder than everybody else. And I know no matter what I do, he is always quieter than everybody else.
Right. Like you'll get an audio recording file because we split up and we all record locally because we record over Zoom because we're adults and we have lives and our wives would just like if we all had to leave the house to record together, there would have been a divorce in the group at this point, I think.
Yeah, right.
But like I'll get an audio file from Grayson. I'll be like, did he record anything? Because it's just a straight line. It's like, oh yeah, we'll get the gain boost. Oh, there's Grayson. I see him now. There's the little feller. Good to see you there, buddy.
I do have that panic attack every time he sends a file. I'm like, oh crap, his file didn't work.
Oh God.
No, but thank you.
Good travels to Grayson.
Yes.
Well, we got you. We got you next week, buddy. So it is just the two of us. I always wonder too, whenever it's just like some pairing of the two of us, if there is ever a person that's like, well, God damn it, the person I want isn't on this episode.
I'm a ride or die Chief stan.
Yeah.
So if Chief isn't there, I'm not listening.
Right. And it's like my ego would love to know like who gets the biggest reaction when they're not on the show, but also like I'm glad I don't know.
I might be able to actually pull stats if you can tell me the episode numbers we missed.
I do not. I do not. I decline. I decline to participate in this.
Yeah, it's a question better left unanswered, I think.
Yeah, no, it's like I'm just going to assume that there's gross disappointment whenever I'm not on a show, and please do not disabuse me of that notion in the comments if that is not in fact the case. Oh man, Kevin, well, we missed you. I'm glad you're back because that means I don't have to have the episode tonight, which is very fun for me. And I think it's a good show to be back on. Yeah. Because, and I do feel bad Grace isn't around for this because this is, I think, maybe you'll agree with me when I say this. I believe this is truly our first time recording after a genuine MLS After Dark experience.
Ooh, I'm trying to think
because we've played on the West Coast before. This is not new, but I don't recall, and maybe I have a memory of the memory of a goldfish. So Ted Lasso would be proud, but like
yes,
I don't recall us ever having a true, just absolute sickos type back and forth 7 goals scored. Or 5 goals scored between the two teams. Like this feels like something we don't engage in a lot.
I'm trying to think. The only thing that's popping into my head, and I might have made this up, is towards the end of 2023, we went away to Vancouver. Maybe that was 2022. Oh, June 2023. Now it ended 1-1. All right. Nope. This has got to be it then. So
yeah, I'm just going to say that this is in fact the only instance of this ever happening. Much like, the Reds, the Bengals, and the FC Cincinnati have never once won a game on the same day.
Thank you, Jonah.
I'm going to declare this conclusively the first ever MLS After Dark of FC Cincinnati's MLS career. And you know what?
Yeah.
I'm happy to be talking about it from the winning side.
Chief, again, I don't know if this counts because I don't remember the exact game state, but did the Yuya Kubo postcast bump in San Jose, does that count? I think we were losing and Kubo scores a hat trick in the second half. That might qualify. I don't want to take away from this moment.
Maybe. I don't know.
But I don't want to forget.
When was
lore.
that? That was 2024, right? That was last year.
Yeah. It ended 2-4. Ooh, Chief, this might be it. All of the goals happened in the second half. We went up 1 with a Buka goal. Then we went down 2-1. Kubo subs in, rattles off a hat trick between minutes 78 and 87.
When was the kickoff time, though? That's the real question here.
The kickoff time was 10:30 p.m. Eastern.
10:30 p.m. All right. Well,
I might qualify.
Like I said, memory of a goldfish. But even still, I love everything about MLS After Dark.
Oh, it's so good.
As a neutral fan, it's way more fun than an actual fan watching the MLS After Dark game.
Yes.
Not the least of which because there's nothing quite like losing a West Coast game, because then you just have to go to bed angry. Like there's no buffer time to cool down. There's no, I'm going to go do something that's a palate cleanser for the rest of my evening.
Yeah.
You're just stuck at 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning being mad. And that's a tough place to be. And I am glad that the FC allowed me to avoid that experience with their performance on this.
It's funny. It's funny too, because you end up like the later the night goes, the more and more of the fan base sort of falls off from the discourse. The group chats aren't as lively. The Discord servers are still lively, but mainly, there's fewer and fewer characters involved.
But the ones that are there are usually, I'm not saying everyone in the Discord or in the casual conversation online is like this, but you get to 10:30 on a Saturday and people do what they want to do on a Saturday night. And
that's true.
And, things get a little bit livelier from a different reason. Maybe not from a sheer volume number, but, from a consumption number,
from an ABV number, perhaps.
Right. It changes the tenor of the conversation and the takes, which I really appreciate. It is a uniquely sports thing that I don't think it's talked about often enough. The West Coast road trip. It's unique to baseball. It's a non-NFL thing.
Yeah.
Because there is no situation other than I think they do 2 Monday night games a year that are late night Monday night games, and it's usually between 2 West Coast teams. They rarely play an East Coast team in that, if I'm remembering. But it separates the men from the boys, not to be gender specific here, but men from the boys in a gender inclusive type of saying, because, women can be men and not like in a just. See,
we are beating yourself into a corner here.
No, we're beating the allegations now is what this is right here. When it comes to fandom, you can, there are men and there are boys, and not all men are men.
Yeah,
this is I'm confusing myself. I'm getting away from the point. The point is, this is where real fans are made. The crucible in which real fans are created is staying up late for the West Coast game. Fighting off the urge to complain, to drop the old man take. It was too late for me. I'm not staying up that late. No, you stay up that late. Why? Because this is what true fandom is. True fandom is staying up until 10 o'clock, knowing for certainty the Reds are going to lose all 8 games of a West Coast road trip and being awake for all 8 of them. That's true fandom right there. The
Reds are, I think, historically bad against West Coast opposition in particular.
It's where real fans are made. Like real fans. You are not a real sports fan as far as I'm concerned, unless you have started betting the Pac-12 or the Pac-10 because you've had a bad day and it's like we've got to win something today. I need to go to bed with a win. Or
rally.
Put an action on the Hawaii game.
Yes, I was going to say San Jose State v. Hawaii. That's going to save you.
That's going to save my day here. It's like I desperately need this kid with a name with 14 vowels and 10 consonants to throw over 225 yards passing. But you know what? We're going to hit this bet. We're going to win it. West Coast games are where real fans are made.
Chief, this is probably a bad time to mention I fell asleep at halftime.
Oh, my God. Oh, that is so sad.
Not unlike the Tigres match earlier this year, I probably woke up with a very different opinion of this game than the people who watched it, which is first half, we might be the best team MLS has ever seen. Are you kidding me?
Famously, you got to watch all 90 minutes, though.
Yeah. So that was fun looking up. Kevin Kelsey scored again from a penalty. What happened here?
See, this is what you get when you don't actually stay up and watch the game. This is bad fan. This is bad fan behavior. We're a podcast. We're a podcast, of FC Cincinnati fans, by fans, for fans, and I'm with a fan who cashed out, turned the fan on, and went to sleep.
In my defense, I did watch the rest of the game.
No, it doesn't count. It doesn't count.
That's fair. That's fair. Count. I just want to make sure people know that my takes are coming from a slightly more informed position than not. So
when you don't watch the game live, the team can't feel your support through the television. It doesn't count.
That's true. And might be the reason why the second half went the way that it did. Okay.
I know. So. I didn't want to say it, but if we're gonna go there.
I'll throw it out there because it was the cliched tale of two halves when it came to Portland and FC Cincinnati. Chief, first time at Portland in Major League Soccer or any other league.
Yeah, we were supposed to go in 2020, and then the season famously didn't happen. Yeah, and it is weird to me, a little weird, that it's a league where theoretically, I think at this point, you should play everyone in the your own division. You should play everyone in the Eastern Conference home and away.
Yeah.
You should play all of the Western Conference either home or away, I think at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird that we've been in MLS since 2019, and this is the 6 years it's taken to get to Portland. That feels a little weird, right?
And very weird. I believe, God, we've done this before, and I'm always wrong, but I believe the last two away games we haven't done are Galaxy, which we will get to later this year, and Sporting Kansas City. I don't think we've ever played at Sporting Kansas City. Other than that, we should have gotten to everybody by now, but
weird. Like it just
in San Diego, but whatever.
Right, but they suck. So arch rivals San Diego.
But we've been in the league for like a while.
Yeah, no, we're not like the new guys. Yeah, we're not the new guys anymore. Let's be real here. We're overdue to have gone to Portland. That was mind-boggling to me to find out that this, and I've known it intuitively because I've wanted to make this trip for a while, and part of the reason we're not on this trip is because Grayson isn't here. He's got.
Yes,
he's not skiing. He's not skiing, if anyone's wondering.
God, I wish he was. August 17th is just peak ski season somewhere. I'm sure.
It's always ski season somewhere. It's just the question is how long of a flight you've got to go on to make it a reality. So I guess my question is that we went into this game and West Coast trip, we knew that there were going to be challenges with this game. We knew that this team, number one, going on the West Coast is always hard. For any East Coast team, the travel is difficult. The time zone changes are difficult, throws off routines, throws off what the team wants to do, what the team likes to do. Playing on turf, we know that the team has had mixed results when it's had to play on artificial turf. And we knew this team was going to be shorthanded. We knew that Brian Anunga was obviously going to be out on his red card suspension, unjust red card suspension, I might add. We knew that Luca Orishano, based on training over the course of the week, was very unlikely to make this trip. And we really don't know what his return status is at this time. And we knew, I think, going into this as well, that we suspected that Kevin Denke was going to be on a pitch count, that he's still on a minutes limit. So that is three very important players of which you are getting partial minutes from one. And it's not like Portland is great, but Portland is still in the thick of a playoff race.
Yeah.
They're a little depleted, but, they're always game for it. You rarely see them just roll over and play dead. Yeah. So given all that, Kevin, what do you make of this result, and what's your big picture takeaway from this result?
Yeah. So going into this, I went and made like quick predictions for how I thought the rest of the season would go for FC Cincinnati. And I had this down as a draw. I thought this would be a draw because, yeah, they're a good team at home. They play on an artificial turf, which is a little unusual these days in MLS. There's only a handful of teams still doing that. They had 2 designated players like in the stands watching as they're getting prepared to join Portland. So they're very close to that. They just lost Sonny Moreno. So they're a little bit in flux, but we were without a defensive midfielder. It's a little nebulous up top. Denke still coming back. It was a little weird. And so I figured there would be some rotation, all things being equal. I'd give it to the home team, the West Coast team, to take, at least a point away from this game. And they came out firing on all cylinders. They absolutely dominated the first half of this game, going up 3-0. I mean, they blew them away. They hold on and get the result. It wasn't the dream ending by any means, although depending on how you read Pat Noonan's quote, maybe it was. Maybe it was fine. But I think you've got to be extremely happy that this team went into an incredibly hostile environment, an environment that was gunning for our best player, a team that was good against an FC Cincinnati team that was rotated. Steven Jimenez, 18 years old, getting his first start in defensive midfield, and, up and down performance, but like, if you told me Steven Jimenez is going to start on the road and we don't have a defensive midfielder and Kevin Denke is coming back from injury and is on a pitch count and we got to go late night against Portland Timbers on the road, like, man, nothing about that screams, oh yeah, they're going to run out to a 3-0 victory and see the game out. Like, no, this was incredible. And it's the mental side of it is what I think most people should be taking, everybody should be taking away from this. It's the most important piece, is that this is a team that is able to do this mentally. I'm feeling good about the playoffs. Like, we'll see how the rest of the season ends up, but if this is the mentality this team has going into the playoffs, it's going to be a force to be reckoned with.
I don't know that I disagree with any of that. I think my takeaway from this game on like a macro level is that they went and they got the job done that they needed to get done. There were parts of this that were good. And, I know I've been talking about it. I know Grayson's been talking about this idea that this team needs to show the ability to have some firepower, that like you're going to have to go in playoff games. You're going to occasionally need to score 2 and 3 goals to win a game. Yeah. And this team has not been great at showing they have the ability to rattle off 2, 3, 4 goals in a game. It's not really their thing. And so to see this team go and score, that's really, really good. On the downside, this was another situation where they let a team back into the game that they had their foot on their throat. And this was something we saw with the Dallas game earlier in the year, where you had a team that was an inferior opponent, that you go up big and you let the team come back. And not only do you let them come back, you don't score the put the game away goal. It's one thing to have a team, and you saw it in this game, and you see it a lot because FC Cincinnati is leading a lot of games where opposing teams throw everything at FC Cincinnati to try and score a goal. Yeah. And around the world, not just in MLS, but around the world, when teams do that, there is always a downside to doing that. And that's that when you are throwing everything at the opposing team, you leave yourself wide open to being countered, and the opposing team or the team you're trying to beat scores the back-breaking goal on you. And I can't remember the last time FC Cincinnati scored that back-breaking goal where it is everything is going one direction. A through ball gets played through, somebody's 1v1, and then there's a pass and a tap in, and they've put this to bed because you've abandoned defense. Instead, what ends up happening is what we saw in this game, where it is all out trench warfare, and they're absorbing pressure for 15, 20 minutes of a match without anything worrying the opposition going the other direction. So, like, I'm happy they got the result. I think it's a good result. I think there's a lot of good to take away that we can talk about. But my overall top end is that, like, I still see like red alert warning signs for this team's inability to put games away, and for the number of games that they finish on their back foot, desperately holding on for dear life to a narrow margin of victory. And I wish, maybe it'll never happen. I just wish that we could see this team put a team away and have like a nice, comfortable little see out win.
Yeah. Yes and no. I mean, I absolutely would love to see that. I do think, though, that where MLS is unique, and this is, I'm going to play, to be clear, I want to see my team put their foot on the throat of opponents and win 7-0. I don't want to be arguing against that, but I just want to play devil's advocate in favor of Pat Noonan's philosophy here for a moment. I think where it comes from is, once given in MLS, the disparity in where resources are allocated in a team, that offensive players are going to have a ton more money. There's a ton more money in the attacking third of the field for a given team versus the defensive side of things. People are getting more and more tired as the game goes on, that it's going to necessarily favor the offensive minded team in the second half. And so when you get to the moment of, okay, we're winning by 2, they're gunning for a goal, let's get a cheeky counterattack and see if we can end this game right here and there, or right here and now. I think what you end up doing is you stretch the field out, you expose more of their attacking talent to fewer defenders, and now you're at the mercy of a fluke play or something like that, versus, hey, we're gonna give up the concept of attacking, except for a token attack here or there, and we are going to lock down, play defense. If you get the ball, just launch it, make them beat us. We are not going to stretch this field out. They cannot get through our brick wall. And I'm not saying it feels good to be the team. It feels
awful.
Yeah. But I will say, and I think it's fair to say at this point, it's a sustainable strategy. It doesn't feel sustainable, but I think we've got 3.5 years of evidence to suggest it may actually be sustainable.
Yeah.
I know.
I know. And I understand the point too, that, in other leagues, you bring off better talent off the bench in situations like this. And if you look down the bench that Pat Noonan has to work with in this, there really isn't anyone that they can bring on who is a game changer in that sense.
Right.
You look at the lineup that they started with, and they already had Ender Echenike on the field in the first half, which means that you can't bring Ender Echenike on in the second half. And would you even bring on Ender Echenike in a game where you're protecting a lead? Do you trust him to defend enough? Or is the threat of him getting behind someone functionally a defensive skill as well, because it prevents someone from fully committing to the attack? I don't know. I wonder too, does the math change, or is this team, is a fully healthy FC Cincinnati with Yuya Kubo and Sergio Santos and Obina Wobodo and all these people healthy? Then do you have the players and the personnel to say, okay, we're going to bring on Ender and Sergio in the second half, and you're going to have to deal with fast guys running behind your defense, and that's how we're going to pick you. And just, if you don't have those and you're pulling Kevin Denke off the field, a 41-year-old Kai Kamara is going to be leading your counterattack? I don't know that's realistic. I as a general principle, that was something that, like, I wish was different about this team, but I guess I I wish this team was undefeated right now, too. It doesn't change anything fundamentally.
Right. And I do think the depth is a big piece of this because so much of the depth was on the field last night. And yeah, there is the awkwardness of both of your defensive midfielders are gone in Obi and Anunga. Throw in Kubo as well, who is deputized there. And the next man up then is Dotto. But Dotto's also your like best attacker off the bench statistically. Sergio obviously was, but like, yeah, it gets really weird. Whereas, yeah, I think you have a full strength team. Maybe you do roll the dice with subbing out Yedlin for Echenike, maintaining, and then Anunga goes in for Buka or something like that. So you have a more solid defensive midfield. So now you can risk it a little bit out wide with Echenike, and maybe that gives you a little different flavor. And all of a sudden it's Kamara and Dotto up top leading the line. Yeah, like that's a team you can attack a little bit more from while also still making enough moves to be more defensive. That's just none of that was possible last night.
Right.
So
I think overall, I'm pleased just from that standpoint, from what was working with. So I guess maybe go over the lineup here and we can move through the game a little bit.
So the lineup was certainly unique. So in goal, Roman Celentano, not unique. And hey, congratulations on our all-time minutes leader. He'll likely retain that forever. I think it might be 100 years before somebody beats him.
Yeah. That feels like he's about to set an unbreakable record on this.
Yeah. I mean, how old is he now? 26? 24? I don't know.
If that even.
He is 24 years old.
Let's say.
Good God. He could play for another 10 years easily. Like a 34-year-old goalkeeper you don't even blink at. He could play for another 12 years. Yeah, that record's never being beaten.
Yeah, shattered.
In front of him, your central defenders from left to right, Nick Haglund, Miles Robinson, Matt Miazga. Out wide on the left was Lucas Engel as your left wing back, and on the right, DeAndre Yedlin. The midfield trio of Steven Jimenez getting his first start, only his 5th appearance, and Pavel Buka with Evander up top, making his triumphant return to Portland. Kevin Denke, Ender Echenike up top. Oh my God, Chief, there's so many different places we could go with this one. Where were you looking first?
Well, I mean, the eye catcher was Ender Echenike. Like that was him being deployed as a striker was not something I had in the cards for this team. That was a little different. I would hesitate to say that it worked in terms of like, I don't particularly recall Ender Echenike looking or doing much of anything in that role.
It is funny. I mean,
to a certain extent, ball doesn't lie that they scored a lot of goals with him on the field, but like, I don't know how much of that was attributable to him or anything he did.
He is certainly active. And as soon as I saw it up top, I got so hyped. I was like, oh my God, Pat Noonan, you madman. What have you done here?
Right.
It is just so funny though, how much he is exactly like Luca Orsano. Like that was the exact same thing with Luca. It's like Luca, incredible wingback, has tons of experience playing as a winger, up top. Well, absolutely, put him up there, plug him in. It doesn't work for some reason. Like it doesn't quite pan out the way you think it would.
If you want a wild stat from this match,
please.
Ender Echenike, Kevin Denke.
Yeah,
4 touches in the opponent's box, 18-yard box.
Okay.
Ender Echenike, 7.
My man.
Which
I don't know if Denke's ever had 7.
It feels intuitively that you're playing the game on expert mode if you're giving Ender Echenike more touches in the 18-yard box than Kevin Denke. I feel I'm just going to throw that out there that maybe that's a design flaw a little bit in whatever you're doing.
I'm guessing it's that Echenike is dribbling into the box and therefore creating his own touches in the box.
Creating his own touches? Yeah.
Whereas Denke is back to goal, fighting off
Ender,
guys. Right?
The porn producer, Echenike, just creating his own touches, baby.
Oh boy. Steven Jimenez getting the start. Nick Hagglund getting the start. No Luca Orishano still injured, which is another name that we can throw out there as, causing problems. Nice. Yeah.
Or maybe not. Who knows? So Ender Echenike up top. I'm not going to say anything really a lot about it just because it's one time we've seen it. I would need way more film on him doing this before I would declare this is a good thing or this is a bad thing. Right now, it's just a thing. And it was certainly an interesting thing and certainly produced quite a few goals with him in that role. But that was my first sort of, interesting. My other, interesting was Nick Hagglund getting the start in the back line. And look, I gotta know. I need a book, or I need like a TikTok account, or I need like a Kindle downloadable, like the Nick Hagglund workout and training regimen, because so it needs to be said at this point. Yeah. And I've been trying to cut back on the language on this podcast a little bit, just because I've been told my nephew doesn't like it when I curse. Sure. Having said that, it's kind of fucked up how Nick Hagglund is getting better, like with age, right? Like, this is weird that like he has been severely injured multiple times and yet somehow seems like he is hitting new highs in his career.
It is getting to the point where we should probably stop calling attention to it.
Yeah. Yeah. or get him like, like some clean pee from somewhere. I don't know. Legitimately, what Nick Hagglund has done, I don't know what it is. I don't know, like, who on the coaching staff he's been working with, or if like he's tried a fad diet. Or if maybe Kevin Denke showing up with those abs like inspired him to think I've got to be better about my life. God, like I gazed into that six pack and put the other six pack away, and I was like, you know what? No more. I have to be. It's a brand new Nicholas Hagglund for 2025. My man is. I'm out of superlatives. Like he is so solid. And this was yet another game where I thought Nick Hagglund was just outstanding. Like outstanding. Yeah.
Absolutely earned the start and has made me even more confident about this team going forward, because I'll be honest, like when he cracked that rib, he's not necessarily a young player. I thought that might have been the last we ever saw of Hagglund. And I was starting to get more and more comfortable with Lucas Engel as the left center back, and so be it. That'll be fine. We'll get by, and Orishano will be out there wide. It'll be fine. It's a better spot for him. Maybe we've accidentally sort of fallen into a pretty good lineup here, and yet Nick shows up, and all of a sudden this team is once again very deep at center back, pretty deep on the wing back positions now. Like, you can't be happier about the way the defense looks on paper. We can critique how the defense plays, but on paper, this seems to be about as deep of a defense can be in Major League Soccer.
I'm ready to ask the question if Nick Hagglund is a must start, even in a 3 center back system that also includes Lucas Engel. And that's insane for me to consider in terms of just the play on the field and like the tape that's out there. I don't know. Well,
we'll see how healthy Miles Robinson is.
Right. That's another, but like, I don't like, this is the point of this statement though. And that's that I do not feel like, you would think to yourself, Miles Robinson potentially hurt, missing a few matches, that would feel devastating.
Yeah.
I feel very confident with Nick Hagglund. Like very, very confident with Nick Hagglund. An earned start. And again, just incredibly solid positional work, good with the ball at his feet. doesn't always look like he's got everything under control, but frequently always has everything under control. It's, it's pretty cool. Third eyebrow raiser on the lineup. Not an eyebrow raiser because I think we were all expecting it, but I think it's worth talking about. Steven Jimenez.
Yeah.
All right. Here's how I'm going to put this. I'm going to let you have it. Okay.
Okay.
I don't see it. Tell me why you think I'm wrong. Because to me, I don't see it for him on this team right now. He's young. He's 18.
Yep.
I don't see it on a team that has Supporters Shield aspirations.
So I agree. If he is starting, something has gone wrong. And
in this case, something has gone wrong.
Yeah.
You have your best defensive mid is injured, and the other one picked up a crappy red card. So you're kind of stuck.
And then the next one after that, Yuya Kubo is still coming back from an Achilles or some sort of ligament injury,
which we did hear. And this is a good place to note that he is expected back into full training next week, which is such a massive development just for this exact reason in terms of what is available on the bench for Pat Noonan.
And that's exactly it. So yeah, I agree. 18 years old. He's not blowing anybody away. He's not pushing Buka or Anunga for their starting jobs by any means. So where I think this is helpful is, and this is, I understand this is dicey. He didn't cost them the game. He gave up a penalty. He gave up a penalty.
Came damn close to cost him the game.
But he didn't.
He came within a Torrey Penso of costing them the game here.
But we've seen other much better players cost us games. He wasn't a weakness that Portland was necessarily exploiting. He wasn't failing to do something that was holding the team back. And at the end of the day, you're going to need serviceable minutes from guys deep down the bench. And that is what Jimenez offers, because his minutes, again, looking at it from a budget perspective, are free. He's free minutes. And if you compare the minutes he played against Portland to the minutes that Yuya Kubo played against Portland, which is none minutes, Yuya Kubo's minutes were a lot more expensive budget-wise. And so I will take free cheap minutes. He's also 18. Give him another year or two. The problem with Jimenez is that he was signed so young. Is that we've known about him for like 4 years now, like literally for 4 years now.
Right.
If we learned about him last year, I think we feel very differently.
I don't. Look, I'm anti-kid. I've said it before on this show.
Right.
Yeah, Chelsea to my core. I'm anti-kid. To me, part of the problem with this game, like the situation we were talking about, not the game, but like the situation where Pat Noonan looks down his bench.
Yeah.
And it's like, what am I doing here? Is that you've got two guys who, maybe three, depending on your point of view, that just feel intuitively like they don't belong on this team from a talent level. And that's, and it's nothing personal against them. I think they're probably, to varying degrees, interesting talents for the future. But like Stefan Chirilla, why is he on this team? Like, he's clearly, very, very clearly not ready to contribute at the MLS level. I think the limited minutes that we have seen him in, he's physically just not ready to compete at this level. Yeah. Jimenez, same way. Jimenez gave it his all for 89 minutes, damn near cost him the game with one penalty, and possibly could have been we have seen harsh penalties awarded in that situation where all of a sudden he's giving Kevin Kelsey a hat trick and this game is tied. We're coming back with 1 point and we're feeling very different.
Yeah.
Moba Dem.
Yeah.
I don't know that he's ready for MLS. And I have a hard time thinking that, I know they're free minutes, but also I have a hard time thinking that you couldn't find about the same quality of minutes or you couldn't find better minutes by going and getting like a USL guy on a supplemental roster spot or something. Like, it just, I don't know. I feel like they are hamstringing themselves on the roster build. And, at some point, maybe the homegrowns will be good enough to not be the case. But right now, there's some dead weight on the roster because they're just not ready, I don't think.
Yeah, I see the point. I think that
like Chirilla. Like Chirilla was never going to come into this game ever. Right. Like there's no situation where Stefan Chirilla is coming to this game. Why is he even traveling? Like there's got to be there has to be someone. Like you're crying out for people that can give you minutes because Kevin Denke is on a pitch count. Sergio Santos is hurt. Yuya Kubo is hurt. Kai Kamara is 41. You're telling me there's no one that they can come bring in that's like actually an adult that could possibly play a little bit of striker? But again, this isn't personal to Chirilla. I think that he's just not. Like, I wasn't ready to play MLS at 16. I'm not ready to play MLS at my current age, but I damn sure wasn't ready to play MLS at 16 years old.
I think, so the value for that in particular is the same reason why national teams will sometimes do this with the World Cup. They'll bring up a 16, 17-year-old guy to make up that last spot, which is, I think this club believes in Chirilla, and I think they believe in him to be one here. Probably not next year, but maybe the year after that. He's one to keep an eye on. And I think having the experience of traveling with the first team and training with the first team and experiencing environments like this, and I think that's a big one, is going to Portland and seeing the Timbers Army and the hostility and the crowd like that.
They could buy him a ticket. Like, he'd probably have to have his mom go with him, but I
think too, you're not going to get, if you have a USL guy who sits on the bench and is also not going to play, he's probably going to want to leave to go play at a certain point. Whereas Chirilla has a future and he has some value in being there on the bench ready to go. And who knows, maybe there was a world where we were up 4-0 and it's, hey, Chirilla, get in there for 10 minutes and see what it's like.
Go out there and give it your all, kid.
Yeah. I mean, this is the sort of give and take of developing a team that has to compete not just this year, but next year and the year after, and probably will exist 3 years from now.
We're hoping.
Yeah, I mean, nothing's certain, right? But if the team is around in 3 or 4 years, I am glad that Stefan Chirilla has gotten these minutes. I'm glad Steven Jimenez has gotten these minutes. And to your point, maybe they don't end up being that great here. Or maybe they go on to have like a career like Calvin Harris, who Pat Noonan, Chris Albright looked him up and down and said, yeah, not good enough. And he's been a fine MLS player in Colorado, like not setting the world on fire, but he's certainly making a living in Major League Soccer. And I think if he were cut tomorrow, there'd be another Major League Soccer team looking to sign him. Maybe these guys have that career, but the difference is if those guys go on to have that type of career for FC Cincinnati, one, that's good. And two, again, it's free. So if you get a free MLS journeyman on your roster, that's worth throwing the dice for.
Yeah, it's just this year you're in a shield race,
and
it's
this
is a hard time to be. It's like, hey, no, it'll be free later. It's like, I don't care about free later. I care about win now with this team. All right,
we can rebuild next year or whatever.
Yeah, Chirilla may be here next year. You know who might not be is Pavel Buka, Kevin Denke, and Evander because they priced themselves out of the market. Like, and speaking of those three.
Should we talk about the goals?
Who do you want to start with?
Let's go in order of the goals. Let's start with Kevin Denke because he's
Welcome
on a
back. Kevin Denke, man, missed you.
He's on a minutes limit. Yeah, so we gotta talk about him quick before he has to get out of here.
Right.
The goal, his goal in the 10th minute is just so good. Buka's carrying the ball up the field. It's just good ball movement. We're dribbling, we're attacking. We got him on the run. Evander cuts in from God knows where, because Evander was all over the field last night, like all over. Like if Evander did this every game, he would be MVP in a heartbeat. Like,
he's going to be MVP anyway. So it's like,
he was in every defensive play. He was everywhere the ball was. It was incredible. But Evander makes this run that 9 times out of 10, ball lands at his feet, and he is rocketing that one into the upper 90. Okay. But he does this thing, just completely dummies the ball. Laurel asked the question to Evander, did Denke call for it? Evander said, no, I saw him. I knew what he could do with it if he got the ball. Dummies the ball, goes to Denke, who plays the ball with his left foot, lets the ball pop up in the air for just a little bit. He gets his foot underneath it, and it's just a screamer along the grass, along the AstroTurf. And welcome back, Kevin Denke. He is on the score sheet. Chief, this team has been unbeaten in MLS play for some time now. What is it, 6-7 games going into this one?
They definitely lost to Charlotte last week. I was there.
No, I don't think that happened.
No, it sadly, I'm required to inform you that I witnessed firsthand the.
You're right. No, you're right. The blue team beat the white team. That did happen.
That's what it is, Clay. Yeah. I know. They were wearing the home kits at TQL, so it counted as an actual win for the home side.
Yeah.
If your point was that we kind of forgot how good Kevin Denke was because he wasn't around for a couple of weeks, the answer is
we've coasted for a little bit. Yeah.
That like we forgot, we forgot what his game was all about, and Kevin Denke is really, really good.
He's pretty damn good.
I am firmly of the mind that Kevin Denke should see way more of the ball in these dangerous situations. Great goal. And I eagerly await him being 90 minutes match fit. Hopefully it's this coming Saturday that we will see a full 80, 85 minutes worth of Kevin Denke, because he's sublime to watch. He has these finishes. His hold up play is incredible. He moves all over the field, which is kind of rare for a striker to be as active in coming back for the ball and getting involved and mixing it up in the midfield. Love the man's game. If there was one silver lining of the injury, is that it might make the numbers at the end of the year not look so eye-popping that somebody comes a calling.
Yeah, hopefully nobody's just doing a filter search of guys who have scored 20 or more league goals. Hopefully he can just score 19 and dodge that.
Yeah. So this game was a lot more wide open. I think Portland's defense they have a general concepts of a defense, I would say.
Yeah.
So there were multiple opportunities that Pavel and Evander and other players had to run with the ball in something approaching space and do not give those players space. Like Pavel in close quarters is very good. Pavel in space is like, oh, this guy's built different.
Yeah. And we see that on the second goal, which here we'll just talk about it. I have a larger point about this, but on this goal, it really, I don't know what's more impressive, the shot or the assist, because Evander has this line splitting assist that cuts out 3 or 5 players, depending on how you want to count this. I think it's 3, but if you said 5, I would accept it. Finds Buka, who plays the ball very beautifully into a turn towards goal. He's got 2 defenders on him immediately, though, with that move. He's at the corner of the 18-yard penalty box, and he rips a shot that, from the TV viewing perspective, does not make sense. It looks like the most ill-advised shot of all time. I don't know why he's shooting here. This is his dumb look. And no, it's a screamer. It's incredible. It's incredibly well hit. The keeper has no chance at this. It is 2-0, 25 minutes into this game. And Evander's got an assist. Denke's got a goal. Evander should probably have a second assist or his first assist for the dummy, which please, dummies should count for assists if done to perfection like that. And Buka, man, he's scoring rockets here. But this is a point that I know you were hot about, Chief, which is his team doesn't generate enough chances up close and in person of the goal, enough tap in goals as high XG moments. And I think this team would have more of them if they weren't so damn good at shooting from far away. And I mean that genuinely. It's like the far away shots that are taken, both made and missed, are just taking and stealing opportunities from closer range shots. Like if Buka doesn't shoot this, Evander is rushing into the box, and maybe Buka dumps it off for him or finds it for him and he shoots a much closer shot. But I just feel like
I don't agree with that.
Okay.
I've got the play up right here. And from where Buka is winding up to take the shot, there is no one in frame that is in dangerous position. The best you have Kevin Denke a couple of steps in front of him, who's marked with inside leverage. Okay. You've got, I think it's Lucas Engel coming into the box, but he's not even into the 18. He's a yard or two outside of the 18-yard box. That's the only option for Pavel right there. Like, it's an incredible shot, but it is, of the options available for Pavel in the decision matrix right there. Yeah. That is the best option, is a low percentage shot. And good on him. Like, he's got a cannon of a leg and he hits this as pure as you can. There's a nasty little dip to it. Keeper has no chance from where the ball is placed right here. But the only option he's got is to do that or to try and take someone on off the dribble, because there is no one committed to attacking the box with numbers. They don't do it. It's just, and this is a good time to talk about this, because this came up in the Discord today, and it's something that I guess I want your take on. Yeah. Because this team for the entire year has grossly outperformed its XG on the year. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but they should be about 7 or 8 spots lower in the table based on XG and expected wins alone. And
I have the numbers. Okay. If you went on the XG table, so expected goals for, expected goals against, and how that adjusts the position, we are not first or second in the Supporter Shield race. We would be 21st in the Supporter Shield race. We have gained 18 points over the course of the season above expected with the XG over performance. So yes.
And this is the part in the show where we talk about XG a lot. Yeah. And it's a slightly, I think, sometimes misunderstood stat. What XG is XG is simply a measure of where you are on the field when you take the shot, and to what degree statistically, based on years of analysis and years of computers running the shot totals and placement on the field, what the expected rate basically that you're scoring from that position. If you take that shot, if somebody has an XG of 0.1, that's like you take that shot 10 times, you're going to make it 1 out of 10 is kind of the way the numbers work, kind of simply. I'm oversimplifying it here, but it is independent of who's shooting. It's independent of who's defending. It's independent of what the position of the keeper is. The keeper could be out of the net. Doesn't change the XG. Like, he could be down on the other end, or he could be with his water bottle or whatever it is. So XG is kind of it's a shorthand stat, because, like I said, it doesn't take into effect that there's a difference between Evander taking a shot and like Lucas Engel taking a shot. We've seen that difference, or like Obi taking that shot. Yeah. Obi takes a shot. You're, based on what we've seen from Obi, it's probably ending up in like the 5th or the 6th row of the stands. It's just not his game to shoot from distance. Evander takes the same shot. He's putting it on frame a greater percentage of the time, but XG is agnostic to that. There's all sorts of stats like this in sports. It's kind of like batting average on balls in play for baseball, BABIP, where it's like BABIP it doesn't take into account where the defense is. It's just, what is your batting average on balls in play, whether they have a shift employed, whether or not they have this. whether or not they're pitching this way, what the pitch is. It just doesn't care about that. It throws all those variables out the window. So it's a useful tool, I think, to shorthand tell you what kind of chances is this team taking, or is a team taking. And we keep saying, is this sustainable? It feels sustainable because they have just incredible individual talents on this team. But it feels unsustainable in this regard, is that we kind of see that when the special talents aren't playing, this team can't generate chances for the guys that are just, backups or regular guys. Like, if Evander's on the field, Evander creates special moments. If Kevin Denke is on the field, Kevin Denke creates special moments. If Kai Kamara or Sergio Santos is on the field, we don't score goals. If Dado Valenzuela is on the field, we don't score spectacular goals. And so I see this as a big deal. That this is going to be the kind of thing that costs this team down the road, and why I think this is a sign for the playoffs that I think is not great, because you can't always count on spectacular in very, very short-term circumstance. Like, over the course of a year, there's going to be spectacular moments, you're going to win games. But in a one-game winner-take-all situation, if the spectacular isn't happening, what do you have to fall back on? And the answer is, I don't know. So I feel like this is a big deal. And these goals that we're seeing, especially Pavel's goal and the one from Evander that we're going to talk about here in a second, like, these are symptoms of a warning sign for me for this team's offense and the way this team generates offense and what this team does to create chances.
So the way I look at it is, this team has two incredible talents in Evander and Denke. And Evander is essentially breaking the XG models himself because he is so good at shooting long distance shots. I imagine it would be as if you drop Steph Curry into 1990s NBA, whereas Steph Curry.
Number one, he killed the way the NBA was officiated in the 90s.
Absolutely.
I get that.
But I do wonder, how tough is the defense 5 feet from the 3-point line in even the 1990s NBA? I think he goes half a season before people are like, hey, we got to rough up this skinny kid who's just launching 45 buckets or 45 shots a night. So I do think that there's a degree of Evander is very good at shooting from distance and scoring from distance, which the models are usually not going to rate as very high probability chances. And so we appear to overperform the XG there. The other thing of it is if you look at the XG table and the teams that are being punished, the teams that you would expect to revert to the mean and look very good if they got their XG back, would include teams like LAFC. Okay, fine, that's a good team. And San Jose, which I don't think anybody is clamoring to trade places with. Or Atlanta United, who would gain 13 points over the course of the season if they got to revert back to their XG. I don't know that anybody is clamoring for them to be to trade places with Atlanta United right now. The teams that are pretty much nailing their XG and doing well include teams like Philadelphia, Nashville, and Orlando. But even those teams are reliant on just a couple of players. If you go look at Nashville, their top goal scorer is Sam Surridge with 18 goals, Hani Mukhtar with 12 goals. The third place player on their team, Ahmed Kasim, who has 2 goals. Okay, so yes, if FC Cincinnati is not able to get Evander and Denke to play very well in a playoff game, they will struggle. That is true of Nashville. That is true of Philadelphia. That is true of Miami. That is true of Orlando. That is true of LAFC. That is true of Vancouver. yes, we can come up with these scenarios where FC Cincinnati is missing their top 5 best players and then go, well, see, they're not going to do well now. It's like, well, yeah, man, like not a lot of teams can lose their top 5 guys and look good. This is a team that, while gaining Denke and Evander, was also missing Luca Orishano, who also tends to break XG models. A team that does not utilize Dado Valenzuela, despite him scoring on a per 90 clip very, very well. I think that this team, the main sort of theory of the team, the theory of the case, is that they have an incredibly stout, incredibly deep defense that builds a platform for star players to take over and dominate matches from. And the defense can say, hey, we can hold 1-goal leads. We can hold 0 goal ties. You just need to go out there and get us 1 or 2 and we can win. And everything is built up to support that. And yeah, come playoffs, if Evander and or Denke are unable to perform or not performing, this team will suffer. This team will struggle. That is absolutely true. But I don't think that is a unique problem to FC Cincinnati. And I think that even with all of that, you have a couple of players like Buka, Orishano, and Dado who are certainly not able to replicate what Denke and Evander are doing, but offer a little extra spice on there that even some of the better teams don't necessarily have.
Yeah.
That's my thought.
Yeah, I
understand the hesitation though. I totally get it.
I've now reached the point where I'm curious. Like, it is what it is at this point, and it is definitely a feature of Pat Noonan's system. Like, in hindsight, I look back to last year with Nico Gioacchini, and yeah, he wasn't going to score goals for this team because we don't set guys up for easy goals or for like striker poacher goals. Brandon Vasquez kind of struggled, at the end of his tenure in Cincinnati. Why? Because we stopped providing him with, easy goals. This team doesn't break out in transition. I think genuinely Pat Noonan would rather this team give up transition opportunities than be out of shape. Like, if you're running at goal, that means you're pointed in the wrong direction when it's time to get back and play defense. Like, I think that, like, I don't think he wants the team to run in transition and commit numbers in transition. And how many goals of Brandon Vasquez's were scored on those kind of breaks where he's running in and Lucho finds him and he taps the ball in and does the Superman pose? Like, yeah, Gioacchini was never going to be successful here because he can't shoot outside the box and he can't create his own shot. And, I'm curious why. Like, that would be what I would love to know. I would love to pick Pat Noonan's brain about, tell me why this team just doesn't score easy goals. Because I don't think the answer is because we want to put our team into position to shoot from distance. I don't think that's the answer, but I feel like that is a symptom of symptom of whatever the answer is. That is the overall play strategy. I'm just fascinated by like what Pat would say if the question was posed to him in that regard. He would probably look at me with a disdainful look, like,
of course.
Do you understand this sport? Like, the goal is to score. We're scoring. Like,
it also, like, at the end of the day, and I know this is the most annoying take, but we won the Supporters Shield in 2023. We were a very good team in 2024. Through the course of the season, I understand playoffs are different. And we, at time of recording, are what? Are we
second
top of
place.
the table? We're second place. Vancouver.
Because the support the expansion team has scored 10 more goals than we have. It is a World's Game thing. They're going to win Shield. Like, we need to be prepared. Like, people need to start preparing themselves for the fact that San Diego is going to win Shield. Their remaining schedule is cupcake central.
They've got
left on their schedule. Listen to this: They host Portland. They're at LAFC. They're host Minnesota. They're at Atlanta. They host San Jose. They're at Houston. And then they're at Portland on decision day. Like they play what, like one team, two teams that are good, LAFC and Minnesota.
Yeah, if you say they lose at LAFC, but they get Minnesota at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they just got one loss. Decision day may ultimately decide it at Portland. That'll be interesting.
They may only have one or two losses left on their schedule, whereas like we've got like a lot of really tough games left.
And I want to say decision day, they split it East and West. So there's a decent chance they know the exact result they need on decision day based on how Philly, Miami, Cincinnati, Nashville,
they will kick off at 9 p.m. on decision day.
Because we kick off at
6
or 4. There it is. Whew.
And they already have us by... They're tied with us on wins, and they've got us by 11 in goal differential.
Say wins was going to be our saving grace there, but man, y'all, we really got to start rooting against San Diego. If you weren't already, this is now a 5 alarm fire. All right,
let's talk about Evander, because that's kind of like the big story out of this game, and he's the third person that scores a goal. Scores a goal in this match. He was, I would say, given a fun welcome from the Timbers Army right here.
I think a lot of people did not expect the welcome that he got. I don't know what he thought he was going to get.
Felt a little Lucho-y, whereas like maybe his idea of like how he was perceived on his athletes need to start realizing anytime you leave
and like ask for.
Fans get mad. There is no way that you can gracefully exit a situation, especially if there is like, you can save yourself in soccer a little bit. If it's like, it's been my lifelong dream to go to Europe. I would like to be sold to Europe. Generally speaking, fans are like, we get that. And the other thing too, is that they don't see you immediately playing for somebody else's team. Like you're out of sight, out of mind. So like every MLS player needs to get, if they believe they will be celebrated in their return to a previous stop, they need to get that out of their heads. I don't know how it happens in the rest of the world. In America, we take this shit very personally when you tell us, oh, your city is not good enough for me. Your team is not good enough for me. We don't care what your reasons are. We don't care about like you had a problem with ownership. You had a problem with, the general manager. You didn't get the money you wanted or your contract. We don't care. You gave us the finger and went someplace else. You're going to get booed. You need to know this.
I'm not going to remember the player off the top of my head, but like Atletico Madrid has a couple of players who were looking to leave or being linked about leaving. And I think we're even sort of angling for a move. And fans went and like defaced murals that they had painted of this player and a couple other players. I just like, leave and get away from our club. We don't want you here if you don't want to be here type stuff. There's always, what's annoying is you always hear the stories about guys moving to different rivals. Like Sol Campbell's a fairly famous story. I'm going to not remember the player's name, but guy went from Real Madrid to Barcelona or vice versa. And somebody threw a literal pig's head at him when he was taking a corner. There's some good stories like that. But yeah, when you demand to leave a franchise, and let's say you have great reasons, like I'm sure Evander felt very justified in that. And we had always heard that some Portland fans sort of agreed with him. The problem with that is at the end of the day, Evander gets to leave, or the player gets to leave the situation, but the fans don't. And so you're sticking them with the shitty boss or the abusive, whatever. And you got to leave, and that's good and good for you. But maybe the only thing that was bringing me joy was watching you play for my shitty team. And once you get up and leave, you're now a part of the shittiness now.
Right. Now you've made the problem worse.
Yes.
Like and the problem being my life as a fan is demonstrably worse without you in it. And like,
it's Corey Dillon, it's Carson Palmer. It's like, hey, Carson.
Carl Pickens for the old heads.
Yeah, totally get it. I understand the Browns are annoying, but like, if you leave, we are still going to have to be fans of the Bengals. And you were kind of the only thing I was rooting for. So if you leave, I gotta hate you now, man. Like, you're abandoning us in this shitty ship.
So yeah. So like what's interesting about it is that like Evander did it's hard not to draw the comparison between this and the Lucho Acosta situation in Cincinnati.
They're almost identical.
Where we let Lucho have it. And now in hindsight, I do kind of wonder like what the players think of when the fans immediately turn on someone who leaves like that. Yeah. Like I'm now desperately curious. What did Evander think of that? Like, oh, I thought these people loved us. It's like, it's conditional, brother.
It's the old Jerry Seinfeld bit. We are rooting for laundry. Okay. Yeah. If you change your shirt, I will hate you.
Right. So this is what Evander wrote on Instagram. I think this is worth reading because this gives context a little bit. This is what he wrote when he left.
Left. Okay. So last year.
Last year when he left. And this is very different than the message Lucho Acosta gave getting out the door here.
Fair.
All right. Thank you, Portland. I wish it had been different. This is not how I imagined saying goodbye, not after everything I've experienced here, the love I've received from the fans and the friendship I've built. I wanted my story with Portland Timbers to have another chapter, but decisions were made by people who not only disrespected me, but also my family, people that don't truly represent what this club is about. And unfortunately, I was forced to leave. To the fans, no, this was never about money. I never put that above the respect I have for this club and this city. In fact, I sacrificed a lot just to be able to move forward. But in the end, I wasn't given a choice. What hurts the most isn't leaving. It's knowing that you, the fans who sing and support this team no matter what, don't even know half of what really happened with me. And maybe you never will. But I truly hope that one day the truth comes out. What gives me comfort is knowing that the people who make Portland Timbers great aren't the ones I don't need to say. It's you, the fans who never turn your back on the team, the players who gave everything alongside me on the field. It's the coaches, the physios, the fitness staff, the kitchen staff, people who work every single day to make this club better. You are the real Portland Timbers. I move on, but I will always be rooting for you because you deserve a club that matches the love and passion you give. Like,
yeah,
it's a very well thought out statement.
Yeah.
And the man still got motherfucked by the Timbers Army.
It did not matter.
Just proves the point. It's a line. It stuck with me for a really, really long time. Never apologize. The right people don't need it. The wrong people will use it against you. Like, don't write the statement, man. It didn't help. Like, that's beautiful. And like, it's heartfelt, and you still got it from the fans a lot. And
even like the other part of that is like, even if it's true, it's obvious that the fans are always going to reserve the right to just not believe you. Like, like, okay, yeah, sure. But actually you were trying to get a big money move to Europe and it failed and you got all pouty and left. Like that's the other narrative out there in Portland. So yeah, again, very much like the Lucho Acosta situation.
Right.
I think the difference is, though, and why I am very happy with Evander and happy that I'll say it, upgraded, is when we did the chanting to Lucho collapsed under pressure. It was reminiscent of Johnny Cueto at PNC Park and hearing his name chanted at him, and he just completely fell apart and he was unable to perform as a starting pitcher. That was Lucho Acosta at TKO Stadium. Evander fed off of that. Evander was everywhere, and when he scores his third goal, the game-winning goal, which I always find very annoying when like it's the third goal and it's 3-0 and the other team scores 2 later, whatever. The game winner, and he immediately runs at Timber's army, cupping his ear. I don't hear you now type
Right.
thing, or I
think
hear you, however you want to interpret it.
I don't think he would have celebrated the goal
No.
if that hadn't happened. I think
He would
that
not
would
have.
he would not have. But then you do that to him for this entire first half. He's going to let you know about it. And it's like, okay, all bets are off. You get to celebrate. And what I love so much about this.
The man who gets the assist.
Yeah, the man who gets the assist, Matt Miazga, just magnetically attracted. like he's being sucked into a supermassive black hole. When there is drama at the away supporters section,
he's there.
He is there. And he, as he rushes over to Evander, gives the get louder to the Timbers fans. And I love Matt Miazga. I believe it is in the team's best interest to pay whatever it takes to make sure Matt Miazga retires an FC Cincinnati player.
Yes.
And I need him in some sort of front office or coaching or academy role or the color commentator for future broadcasts. I need him to never leave this club. I need that so deeply in my soul that I'm willing to take season ticket price increases to ensure I'll pay $1 more per beer if you can promise me that we're never letting Matt Miazga leave the greater Cincinnati area for the rest of his natural life.
There is a world where our youth academy products are being coached by Matt Miazga and Manu Ledesma, and I could not be happier for just
I want to live in this world.
housery.
I want to live in this world right now. Like, I will tolerate so much other bullshit in this world to live in that world where that the next Steven Jimenez has learned from Matt Miazga what it truly means to be a professional playing in the orange and blue. I need that. Like a fat kid needs cake, man. I just need that in my soul.
It was so good. I mean, it was only missing like heart hands. I think that would have
if
ended
they both
it.
would have heart handed right there, I may have.
If they each put up like one half of the heart.
You know what? It's never getting any better. It's just like we've peaked as a franchise in that moment. So I guess I'm happy they didn't do it.
Yeah, it's true. We still got something to look forward to.
Here was the post-game quote from Evander.
Please.
I don't know, like, I wasn't expecting them to cheer, but I think the song, which was, it's exactly what you imagine it was.
Yeah, it was a lot of potty language directed at Evander.
It was a little too much for me. But I'm the player, like, 100% focused on what I'm doing on the pitch, Evander said. I always made it clear that I didn't do anything wrong with the fans and players when I was here. Never had a problem with them. But that's the way they took it. So how can I say it? They're allowed to do that. They can do whatever they want. So I was just focused on trying to represent Cincinnati because that's the club that I'm playing for right now and win the game. That's how you handle this, Lucho.
Yes.
That is how you handle this.
Yeah, Lucho saying I didn't deserve that. Like, you can't argue, like, especially after it already happened.
And then to just put the cherry on top of my man who, like, my man gets PR. Like, that statement on Instagram to the fans in Portland didn't work, but that's good PR.
He tried.
Follows it up with on the away supporters. The supporters came here and did everything they could to support me and support the team in a way that made us want to win the game.
So good.
There was also that came from Cameron Nia on the Inquirer. He was on the Zoom press conference that was conducted when Evander was on. There was also this that I loved.
Please.
And I got to give a shout out to Carter Chapley on this. If you don't read Carter's post gamers, you're missing out because the man is a wordsmith, number one, and like paints an incredible picture of a lot of these games. Now, to be fair, this game gave him a lot of good source material with what was going on.
A lot of storylines.
I love this. This is a quote. In the huddle prior to the match, a team leader had the group listen to the crowd for a second and really take it in. Then they broke the silence by saying, let's win this for Evander. That is like Hollywood chills right there.
So, two things. One, he said a team leader had the group. There's two possible answers here. One, I think it was Roman Celentano, because in the video clip that they posted later, Roman was speaking, although a lot of team leaders take turns in the huddle there. But I think it would be fucking hilarious if it was Evander.
Referring to himself in the third person.
You hear that? Let's win this for Evander. Just his full Zlatan moment.
I was about to say, that would be the most Zlatan thing imaginable. Like, that would be, if this was a Zlatan story, I would bet every dollar in my wallet it was Zlatan. Let's win this for Kevin. It's Perry. It's always been Perry.
There's such a great story of before a cup final. I forget what team he was on. Player was nervous, or maybe it was the coach that was nervous. And Zlatan goes over to him and he says, "Are you nervous?" The guy says, "Yeah, I'm nervous." And he goes, "You believe in Jesus?" And the guy goes, "Yeah, I believe in Jesus." He goes, "Well, good. I am Jesus. I am on your team. We will win today." And he just left.
I love this man so much. I don't know who it was. I would bet it feels like a very Matt Miazga thing to say.
Yeah, I could buy
it. I wouldn't hate Roman being the person. That would not also surprise me as well.
Throw it in there for Nick Hagelin. I think Hagelin has the sort of PR instinct to live the moment. So yeah, but whoever did it, amazing.
Like, just amazing cinematic timing, sir, for you with that quote, with that motivation. Just the idea that they all were sitting there listening to the entire crowd cheer fuck Evander.
So let's talk about this third goal. Yeah. Just real quick. Yeah. It's a loose ball. It's gathered up by Miazga, who then just quickly plays it. He takes like two steps, 2 touches. It's kind of a sad little pass over to Evander, who, this is incredible, never touches the ball until he shoots. If you look at it in real time, you wouldn't believe it. When it's zoomed in and slowed down, you see he never actually plays the ball. He just turns with the ball. The ball does sort of a little hop on the artificial pitch, and Evander just strikes it so clean, so pure, goes opposite side of the goal. And yeah, it's Miazga that runs up right there with him. It's such a cool moment. And this team's up 3-0 in the 37th minute. And you think, my God, this team could win.
Score 7.
Yeah. Like why not?
Hang a half dozen on them. It's a great goal. It's a goal that, that's a goal that you score after years of playing on the surface, and you know exactly what the ball is going to do in that situation right there. That is a goal that is a home pitch goal from someone that has played on that pitch for 2 years. It's Evander shooting from distance. What do you want, man? He's the man who breaks XG.
Yeah.
He's the stat obliterator. If Mueller is the space investigator, Evander is the stat obliterator. It's cool. It's the most perfect way to silence the crowd on that. Yeah. I do hope someday that we learn exactly what went down with Evander in Portland, because what's so weird about that situation is that, like, Evander has been just a joy here in Cincinnati.
Awesome.
Yeah. Like, cool with the media. He seems like he's not bothered by anything. I got to know what would piss Evander off enough to like cause a fight with management, because the dude seems chill as hell.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
You also, at this point, you're being like, I understand fans are going to fan. You're being dishonest with the number of players that have had a problem with Portland Timbers management to not like at least consider the possibility that Evander was right in this situation if you're a Timbers fan. Because like what? Santi Moreno, major problem out. The way they treated Diego Chara, apparently not great. The end of Darlington Nagby's career there, not great.
Even how they did Gio Cervese, I thought was a little unfair. And then to go replace him with Phil Neville was like uninspired and sad. You also have the
Thorns issue that was really, really bad there for a while. That was under the same ownership group.
And it's still like they promised to sell the team and didn't. And there are a number of real grievances that fan base has with ownership. So for the longest time, and people might still have this impression that the Portland Timbers had a sort of Green Bay Packers-esque wait list where it was like 50,000 people long and you were just like never going to get to the end of it. They don't have a wait list anymore. It's gone. Like they have evaporated a ton of support in Portland. So it is not just an Evander thing. Like their fans have largely left this club. And so, yeah, there's some weirdness going on over there.
Yeah. So part of also what makes this game's like just very MLS After Darky is let's talk about the second half of this sort of a revenge play in 2 acts, because Evander wasn't the only person that was looking to stick it to a former team.
No.
Hand up. I had forgotten that Kevin Kelsey was playing on Portland still. To be fair, I think Kevin Kelsey might have forgotten he was playing on Portland still because he came into this game on 5 goals.
Yeah.
It felt a little personal with Kevin Kelsey and FC Cincinnati to a degree I did not see coming.
Yes, that's 100% correct, because I went and looked at some Portland fan sort of chatter after the game and the day after, and all of them agreed that was by far Kevin Kelsey's best performance. And if he can play like that the rest of the season, they may do some damage in the playoffs. They were blown away that he had this in his bag. And yeah, I'm going to say the extra motivation here really fired him up. I think he might have fed off of the anti-Evander chants in reverse, that like anything that was anti-Evander was therefore pro him, is how I think it worked for Kevin Kelsey, because he was also tearing it up. He was bodying defenders. Every time he took a shot, somebody was on the ground nearby for FC Cincinnati. Like he put on a hell of a performance. He gets the first goal like a minute after Evander scores. It's really, really well done. It's well taken. Who is that he leaves?
I think Lucas Engel, maybe he just undresses on the field right there.
Yeah, it's, oh my gosh, it's Engel or it's Miazga. I can't quite tell. Yeah. And and then obviously buries the penalty later in the game. He is not celebrating, but he did this little like point to the head, tap to the head thing, like you overthought it or something like that would be my interpretation. Or
you thought you didn't think I had it.
Yeah, like, something. So I maybe that was a reference to a very particular conversation he had with Noonan or Albright or somebody, but
right.
Yeah, that was
I was
something.
not, because like I didn't think the Kelsey situation ended particularly poorly. It was just his loan ended and they didn't exercise the buy option. It wasn't like, apparently I was very mistaken as to how pissed off Kevin Kelsey was about his time in the greater Cincinnati area. Maybe he just never found a restaurant he liked when he was here. Like,
he was furious about it. I needed more time.
Right.
So if people don't know, this is how I remember this story. And Chief, you tell me where maybe I have things wrong. They had a hell of a time negotiating the initial loan. Like I think it was finally executed the final day of that sort
very
of
late
winter,
in the window. I don't know if it was,
window. Yeah.
Yeah. It was very late.
He came in with what was a reported $5 million purchase option that, yes, he would have been a U22, so that wouldn't have mattered, but that's a lot of cash to spend on a U22. The only team that has really spent like that at that level has been Miami, spending for a couple of guys like that. And it wasn't terribly successful for them, 50-50 again. And even then, it sounded like Shakhtar Donetsk was even playing around with the 5 million and was maybe asking for
like
6
7?
or 7. Yeah, I remember 7 million coming up. So or maybe it was the case of the loan expired. They didn't trigger the option, but the FC Cincinnati thought they could negotiate a lower than $5 million rate. Whatever it was, Shakhtar Donetsk were just such a pain in the ass to negotiate with that we sold the negotiation rights, like the MLS rights, to Portland and said, if you can figure it out, go for it, but we're out.
Good on you.
Yeah.
And
so like,
no, that's about what I remember the situation being. And
it didn't seem anti Kevin Kelsey, though, is largely what I'm getting at.
Yeah, no, it felt like that just Shakhtar was setting, because I remember we talked about at the time, like it felt like Shakhtar was setting a level on the purchase option that was too high. They didn't expect to get met.
Right.
They were like, yeah, no, we see that he's going to be doing bigger things in the future. So if you want to pay all this for it, sure. But nobody thinks he's worth that right now. We just don't want to lose that future valuation that we see out of him. Now, we did note last year, he was on the bench a lot when it seemed like he was healthy. And we were speculating that there was a minutes trigger to his purchase option that I don't know that we ever got full clarification on. Like, I feel like somebody eventually told us that wasn't true, that that he just wasn't, doing what they wanted, or there was some disconnect between what the coaching staff wanted and what he wanted, or there was weirdness.
Yeah, Noonan even spoke to it in a press conference, basically saying, like, talking about the sort of competition between Joe Aquini and Kevin Kelsey, which was kind of that competition for the number 2 striker after Bupenza. And yeah, he basically, without saying it explicitly, said Kevin Kelsey isn't doing the things that we're asking him to do, whereas Joe Aquini is. Even if Kevin Kelsey is the better goal scorer, we need all of these other things to be done. They're just as important, and he's not as trustworthy to do it, or he's not as reliable to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was not prepared for the Kevin Kelsey revenge game, and he got damn close to having a hat trick thanks to in part to Steven Jimenez and his ill-timed challenge and potential handball. But Kevin Kelsey was everywhere in this game. And I get the sense, though, that he needs that kind of motivation to get him up for it.
Yeah.
And if, in fact, it was the case that, he wasn't doing what the coaching staff was asking and there was a motivation issue, man, I wish he could figure that out, because it seems like he's going to be a really good player if he can play angry the entire time.
Yeah, it's something about both him and Evander, like elevating their games, like being pissed off. It's like, man, if we could play Portland, Cincinnati for 34 games, just alternating home and away, I think we'd all have a really good time.
Right. And there's some genuine dislike by a couple of people involved in this whole setup right here. Yeah. So Kevin Kelsey scores twice. The interesting thing then that I want to talk about at the end of this game, and then I guess we can wrap up because we've been talking about this. There was so much going on in this game. This game was
a plot heavy game.
Plot heavy. And so many things throughout the year that are interesting on both sides. There's personal narratives. This is the kind of thing that should have been a Sunday night soccer game that ESPN or Fox or Apple could have told the viewers all the storylines going into it, like revenge here, anger here. I don't know. But Kevin Kelsey scores before half. He scores on the PK after the I think it was a clear penalty from Jimenez. There's not a lot of, I thought the officiating was actually pretty decent in this game overall for a change of pace. But the Kevin Denke is on a minutes limit. They pull him out at around the 60th minute. At the same time, they also pull Ender Echenike off the field. And I desperately wish this team would just not do what they did at the end of this game. I know we talked about it a little bit at the start, but it feels like they could have very easily lost this game with some of the chances that were coming from Portland's way. Some bailout defending at the end. Portland had a chance to win it right at the death, which I feel like is a thing that we always see with FC Cincinnati.
Yes.
But I just wish we didn't.
It is funny. So I don't have the direct quote in front of me. I listened to Noonan's press conference earlier today from last night about the game, and Laurel asked him straight up, which huge props to Laurel for just asking this question, which is like, hey, when this team is winning, why does it really feel like that they struggle to maintain possession and sort of put their foot on top of the ball and like control the game when they're winning? And Noonan's immediate response was essentially, well, that's one perspective on what's happening. But really, it's more of a tussle, and those teams are trying harder, not trying harder, but they have more to lose. And so they're throwing more at it. Whereas we are more comfortable and we are more capable of defending than they are attacking. And so that's how we're setting ourselves up, which makes me think. And I'm then led to believe that what we see at the end of the games is not a design flaw. It is a design feature, Chief.
It's not a bug. It's a feature.
It is how this team is designed to play. It goes along with comments we heard from Matt Miazga after Hell Israel away, which is, we're very comfortable in those moments. Maybe we should all just
embrace
the team identity and just know that this team is going to hold the line.
Get louder instead of more nervous.
Yeah. That
maybe.
we should be celebrating clearances like goals, basically, after the 75th minute.
Oh boy, it's gonna be a long 7 games. All right.
That's what I'm hearing, is that they are doing this on purpose. So adjust your expectations.
I will leave this game preview with this then. Evander goes to Instagram, posts a Bible quote, John 14:6. I'm sure Carl Linder loves that. In the comments section, Nick Hagland.
Oh.
How do you know a lumberjack is sad? They won't stop talking about their ex. No notes. 10 out of 10.
All right, we are back, and Chief, we realized somebody made an administrative error here, and we never asked people for August questions. We never got a post up for the Patreon, which, by the way, you can support us on Patreon. Please do, because I think we have come up with something very fun, very unique for the month of August. If people don't like it, we can return to our regularly scheduled Patreon situation in September. But I'm kind of excited about this. So, Chief, maybe preview a little bit about what we are asking.
You know what I'm most excited about this?
Please.
We cooked this up while Grayson's on a flight, so
he has no say.
He has no say so in this whatsoever.
Oh, he's gonna love it.
He will, because deep down in his cold soul, Grayson does love all of our dumb suggestions that we come up with.
He does.
Yeah, no, it reminds him that he's so much smarter than the two of us combined.
I also think, given the sort of vague outline of this contest, I think he's going to crush it.
Oh, he's going to absolutely kill both of us. That's not even close to being a hot take. All right. So what the deal is that I realize, I've been thinking about this for a little bit, that we use the Patreon, which, you can subscribe to for $2. We don't use it to its full potential. And I do worry a little bit that if we just keep saying, hey, you get to ask a question every month for $2, it could get a little stale after a while. There's only so many questions you can ask the two of us that people want to hear us talk about. I don't know. So I was kicking around some different ideas. I thought we could shamelessly copy my brother and me, the McElroys, and just say, hey, ask for advice, and we will give you advice on any problems that you are having in your personal life or in your business life. And you can get the perspective of the three of us on any problem that you are facing. And then I thought to myself, I don't know that I want to be responsible for giving other grown adults advice on things.
There may be legal implications for a couple of us giving people advice.
You know, maybe we might need to add a disclaimer, a big old disclaimer on this podcast right here. It's like, hey, can you look over this contract for us and tell me if I have, if this non-compete I can break here?
Yeah, on how to set up an LLC that I need.
Or like, does this look infected? Like, I don't need that in my life. I don't right now. Maybe we'll revisit that at a later date.
Yeah.
But we were thinking, and we were brain shopping here a little bit, and what we came up with, I think, is fun, and that is that we have so many people in the Discord and in the Patreon that are Cincinnati natives. You have joined because you love the city of Cincinnati. You love FC Cincinnati, the team that truly does support our city by using our city's name as its branding, as its identity. It doesn't need a mascot. It is just Cincinnati on the badge. And that's what we all love and we all support.
Yep.
So what we're going to do for August is that we're also aware that there's going to be an international break coming up. And that is going to mean that there is no FC Cincinnati soccer on, I believe, the first full weekend in September. So we will have a match on August 30th. And then the next match that the FC will play is the 14th. So we're going to have a week of downtime.
Yeah.
And we would like to fill some of that downtime. We've already traveled, so away days will be coming out here at some point in the near future. What if we stayed closer to home, though, for that weekend, and we took the suggestions of members of the Patreon as to what we should be doing or things that we should be enjoying here in the city that might, fly under the radar a little bit, not just like, hey, go to the zoo or, hey, go to the art museum. Maybe there's like a favorite greasy spoon you have that has a great dish we need to try. Yes. Maybe there is a cool event or activity that happens on a regular basis around town. I've got a family member that's involved and does improv, and she's part of an improv group. And,
Perfect.
Didn't know that existed until she started doing that. And that's just that's a good time on wheels. So what we are going to do with the Patreon this month is Kevin's going to open it up today, Monday, if you're listening to this on the day it releases, and you will be able to offer a suggestion for something that one of us should do or one of us should try.
Yes.
Whether that is an event, a place to go, a thing to experience, a restaurant that has a particular dish that we must try, a drink that we must see, a site we must see, an activity that we must partake in. List it out there. And what Kevin is going to do, I believe, is Kevin is going to assign all of these a point value of some sort.
Yes.
And during the course of that week between August 30th and when we record on, I guess, or we release on September 8th, I believe would be the next episode that we release.
Yes.
That we're going to try to cram as many of those things into that week as possible.
Yes.
And then we are going to report on the things that we enjoyed, the things we might not have enjoyed. And we're just going to review the things that we do, and we're going to see who racks up the most points among the three of us.
And we will give credit for each person for their suggestion as we have done them, the point values. We'll try to document it in some way, either an audio recording or a photo or a short video or something. Yeah. And we'll make sure that that's available so people can see that. And yeah, that'll be a sort of a Cincinnati bucket list where we will try to accumulate as many points as possible to see who can win this contest. And I will say, I'll make the list publicly available once it's finalized. Feel free to play along at home. All right. See how many points you can get, and we'll see how it goes.
So just to put a point on this, when you submit, make sure you're submitting things that are doable.
Yeah, not like jump off the Karoo Tower or something. Yeah. All right. Yeah, sure.
Or also not something that only happens in the wintertime where it's like, oh, go for $2 beer night with the Cyclones. That's a great idea. Yeah. But it's got to be something that we got to do it that week. Right. Or you can suggest that, and we'll certainly talk about it in the episode if it's a suggestion we can't do. But you can't, we're not going to go and invent a time machine and go forward in time to, go to the Festival of Lights or something like that.
Right.
So,
not going to happen.
Not.
Yeah. Ideally, it is sort of an evergreen suggestion. However, if it is only for that week, that's fine too. That is acceptable. If there's a, I don't think it's happening then, but like a Get a Fest type
like
thing,
an early Oktoberfest or something like that.
That's totally fine.
Yeah. And so, this is, I'm kind of excited about this, especially like if there's a, some Cincinnati, like some underground food gem that like, you're like, more people need to know about this place, or more people need to try this cuisine,
this dish. Yeah.
There's a band that plays regularly at a bar somewhere where it's like, these guys rock. Yeah.
Throw it out there. That'll be fun. I'm looking forward to this. I think we'll get some good suggestions. And again, if you want to be somebody making that suggestion, you got to do it on Patreon. I'm only going to accept, lots of people are going to send us comments. They're going to think of brilliant things to do, and they're going to post it on Twitter, or they're going to post it on Blue Sky or Instagram or the Discord or whatever. But no, that the official submissions have to come through Patreon. You got to be a patron. So if you do that, then you can create the list. And then you can make the suggestions. We can make this all a thing. It'll be fun. So that'll be available on Patreon. Again, it's just $2. Okay, I'm not asking for a lot. Just a couple bucks. I totally get it. If you don't want to support or can't support, that's totally fine. Totally cool. We give away everything for free.
Just join for a month and make your suggestion. Make us and enlighten us as to something that you think that not only we should be a part of, but that we should use what limited voice we have to signal boost to 12 listeners of this show.
I'm now imagining it's going to be like somebody's going to pay $2 and be like, get your home remodeled with Renewal by Anderson.
No free ads. No free ads. No free ads.
Have you thought about installing Gutter Guard?
Right. However, if you do want to sponsor the postcast, we will bump all the $2 Patreon suggestions to the bottom of the list to try whatever it is you want to do for a 6-month sponsorship commitment to the show.
Which, by the way, more to come, but stunned at the number of coffee and or pizza places that have reached out in the last week or two. So
nice.
Incredible
Evan
progress.
Is very very caffeinated and very much needing to talk to his doctor about his A1C levels.
Yeah, actually, the team might ban us from talking to him again after
this. We love you, Evan.
We might ruin our backup goalkeeper here.
Can't do that. So look forward to that. That'll be fun. We'll get some good content out of it. And more video for me to edit. Just what everybody loves.
You love it. We love it. We all love it, Chief.
We do. You know who we don't love, Kevin?
Oh, who's that?
We don't love Columbus. Fuck Columbus.
The Cincy Postcast is a production of The Post Cincy. You can check us out online at thepostcincy.com. You can also follow us on Twitter and Blue Sky, Facebook, and Instagram. Twitter and Blue Sky, though, you'll find we're a little more active than the other places. We're also on YouTube, where you can listen to this episode if you aren't listening to it already. We are also putting up video content semi-regularly, including the Away Days series. We want to give a huge thank you to Jim Trace and the Makers for providing the music for this episode. They're a lovely band, and you can find more information out about them in the description of this episode. And if you happen to enjoy what you just heard, can I please ask that you like us, that you rate us on whatever app you're listening to, and maybe more importantly than all of that, share this episode with a friend. When it comes up at work, you're talking about FC Cincinnati, and say, hey, I listened to an FC Cincinnati podcast. I think you guys will like it. It would really, really help us out. Nothing helps a podcast travel more than a good recommendation from a friend, family member. That would be awesome. When it comes to the sorting algorithms that control our lives, a 5-star review would be much appreciated. Also, leaving a sort of written review weirdly does more than that. That's how the algorithms work. So maybe say a nice or a mean thing, whatever. Just as long as you give us 5 stars, that'll really, really, really help us out. And if you are looking for more MLS content, check out our other podcast, The World's Gam. Again, a link will be in the description of this episode. That is where we touch on league-wide storylines and news, and we talk about other games and a couple other teams in there as well. Think you will enjoy it if you are just dipping your toes into Major League Soccer. A huge thank you to all of our sponsors. A even bigger thank you to all of our patrons over at Patreon. But maybe most importantly, thank you for listening to this episode.